Aligning your mind, body, and spirit with your fertility journey. How much do you value your true needs and what you really want? How much do you value your physical, spiritual, and mental state of being? Is it in alignment with fertility and getting pregnant? Do you feel like it's difficult to get pregnant? Is there anything internally that you're going over that might make fertility difficult? Hi, my name is Monica Anderson, life and wellness coach for busy moms and women who are looking to reclaim their voice, wholeness, and magnetism on their way to sustainable wellness. Remember, ladies, nothing can be born until it is first conceived and nurtured in the mind. So, what are you thinking about in your mind when you are thinking that you want to have a baby or you're wanting to have a child? Are you open to all the possibilities of how that could come about? If you're wanting to conceive naturally and have your own child, what are some belief systems that you've had? Now, if you've been following along in other videos, we talk about this and how to think about things all the time. And this is going to be some more of the same focus of how we want to be really thinking about what it is that we actually want. And are there any barriers to us conceiving? And what might some of those be? Are we feeling like it's a good time to have a baby? Why do we want to have a baby right now? Does our spouse want to have a baby, or our partner? Do we feel financially secure in having a baby right now? Is it a good time? Is the reason that we want to have a baby is to fill a hole inside of us that we think that another person will bring in, someone to love us? All of those things need to be looked at and considered, because if we are wanting to have a child to fill something that is lacking within us, then that is creating somewhat of a barrier, because we're not having a child or trying to conceive a child for purely the sake of wanting to raise another human being and allowing another life to experience a life. So that's going to create some stagnant things in our bodies and in our mindset. And we want to be in a state of flow. And so in order to do that, we need to do some work internally and really figure out where we're at with all of this. Why do we want to have a child? And there is no right or wrong answer. It's not what I'm saying. It's just that we need to be really clear that we definitely want this child, that we're going to do whatever it takes to get our mind, body, and spirit in alignment that would create a life. And so those are the things I want you to think about. What does it look like to get pregnant? What kind of health does that person have? What kind of mindset does that person have? I was able to get pregnant at 43 years old naturally, and I delivered my baby naturally. If you would have asked me before that, at the age, of 35, let's say, if I could get pregnant at 43, I mean, maybe I would have said yes, because I've always looked at myself as being really healthy. I've never looked at my age as being any kind of a deterrent. And we've talked about this before. When we're looking to get pregnant, we sit down with the fertility doctors or going to get labs done. You're going to hear a lot about especially if you are over the age of 35 or 40, you're going to hear a lot of that it's difficult, that it's a hard process. And if you've had babies beforehand, you're going to hear that you, especially if you've had a C-section or something, you're going to hear that you can't deliver your baby naturally. And there's this process that you have to go through. And the truth is that you really don't. You can go through the process exactly the way you want, but you need to start visualizing that and spending time really thinking and feeling. Feeling is the most important thing. So you just imagine yourself with the baby, you imagine yourself with a healthy body, you imagine yourself getting pregnant easily. What are you wearing? What do you feel like? What does your hair look like? What smells are in the room? Where are you living? All of those things, you just want to immerse yourself in them. And then you act from that point. The things that you do are from the point of the fulfilled desire, if that makes sense. So we don't act on where we decide that we're at. We act on where we want to be. We act from a place of fulfillment. So we have our baby, we have our body, our health. And so what would that person be doing? What would they be eating? What would they be saying? What would they be thinking? And then we do those things, and you will naturally start doing those things because the subconscious mind just starts following what you put into it and what you are thinking from. So spend time on your vision, spend time visualizing the pregnancy, visualizing your health, visualizing getting pregnant easily, visualizing a home birth if that's something that you want. And you will start attracting the people in your life that are needed in order to have that happen. And it will happen so easily, and it will actually really surprise you. And you'll look back and just be in awe about how everything just happens so with so much synchronicity and so much flow. And that's what you want. You want to have this idea, and it's not just platitudes that you say to yourself of, oh, I know I'm going to get pregnant, but then you're not doing anything that would align with that. So you really do want to take a look at your life, your physical life, and your internal life. What does that look like? Is that the kind of life that's going to manifest a pregnancy? Is that the kind of life that's going to conceive a child or be able to take care of a child in a healthy way? Because you want to be bringing a child in not for yourself, but to give another life a chance to live and experience this earth and what they have to offer. And so you never want a child to be born with a job of making you feel whole, a job of making your spouse feel like they'll stay or anything like that. Because if you do, the situation is not going to become from a state of flow, and you will not have the outcome that you want. It'll just be another point of stress that you endure. So start looking at patterns in your life currently before you're conceiving, and see if those patterns align themselves with somebody who is going to conceive. Are you being consistent with your health, with drinking your water, with meditating, with not taking things personally? Are there things in your life that are creating a pattern that wouldn't be sustainable once you had a child and that you could start working on? There's no time limit. You don't have a time limit. If you want to have a child and you know in your heart that you're going to have a child, then you're going to have a child. And be open to all possibilities on how that will come. and then it will. So 3 things that I want you to think about in closing. And I just said to notice your patterns, figure out your mindset, and get that in alignment. And you can go in my last video that I just had where I talk about how what you say and think matter. And that goes for this situation as well. If you know it in your heart, then it's going to happen. And if you think that this has to be perfect and that you're not going to stumble, that's not true. You are going to have moments where you kind of, backslide or go into thinking negatively. But as long as that's not something that is constantly, that's constantly gone over and over about how you quote screwed up or you ate something that maybe wasn't the best for your body, just know that that's not stumbling. That's just life. And that's just how we are. And you just get right back on track. So the 3 things that I want you to look at are know it in your heart and know that you can get pregnant if you want to get pregnant. And you know the things that you need to look at. You need to look at your patterns. You need to look at your mindset, and you need to look at your thoughts. Second, have faith in your body and faith in knowing that you know your body best. And what the doctors and different people in your life might be saying to you are just their opinions, and that they're not based on your reality. The law of prosperity tells us that anything that we want and believe in our hearts will come forward. It will manifest itself. Every single thing that we think and feel internally is going to find a way to manifest itself. Now, as far as when that happens, that's up to us. And up to our circumstances. So there really is no time. So we just need to make sure that we're doing these things. And then the third thing is don't worry if you stumble. There is no stumbling. There is no perfection. Don't beat yourself up if you went through drive-through and got fast food while you're getting yourself ready to conceive. You just get right back on track and do what your body needs, and know that besides, if you tell yourself, let's say it's something with eating, that tends to be something that we beat ourselves up over. Let's say that you ate something that technically wouldn't serve the body well. Just before you eat that, say, this is nourishing me, this is sustaining me so that I can finish my errands with my toddler or have that conversation with my husband and not feel hungry. And that's important. That's important. So our state of mind is everything. It's more important than anything externally that we may do or put into our bodies. The way we think about things, the way we position our mindset is 100% all that matters. And we can always get back on track. And it doesn't matter what anyone else says. It doesn't matter what physicians say. It doesn't matter what our partners say. It doesn't matter what our mother-in-laws think. None of those people or situations should have any bearing on the outcome of your life. And so don't give your power away. Stand up for yourself. Think about what matters to you and make that a priority. And I would love to talk with you guys more and hear comments that you have on this issue. Tell me some things that you're doing today on your fertility journey that are getting you to where you want to be. I would love to hear, and other women would love to hear some things that have worked for you, even things that if you haven't gotten pregnant yet, but it's definitely making you feel better, more vibrant, and more in the flow. And so that's all going to aid in you conceiving.